In this video, we are going to briefly discuss about some of the important PyPoint attributes. PyPoint is a unique storage point for data in the Pi system. It is simply a single point of measurement. In general, a PyPoint is defined by a set of attributes such as name, point source, descriptor, and the so-called location codes, instrument tags, to name a few. Now, let's go one by one and see what these important parameters are. So let's go to PySRV1, which is the PyData archive. Let's open up Pi System Management Tools. Open up Points and select Point Builder. Now, under Name, let's type BA colon phase.1. This is one of the PyPoint which is installed along with the PyData archive. This can be utilized for troubleshooting purposes as well. So here we note a couple of attributes. First, we need to have a tag name. Second, we can have a descriptor to describe what this tag is all about. We need to specify the so-called point source, which corresponds to the point source which we configured on the Pi interface. And here we note that there is another attribute which is called point type. There can be many different types of point types. For example, this one is a digital PyPoint. There you can have floats, ints, and so on. So for example, for this particular PyPoint, it is a digital PyPoint or digital PyTag, and digital PyTags are associated with a digital set. For example, the digital set is called phases. So let's go to digital states, and we see that there is a digital set called phases. So what does it mean? So when data comes into the PyData archive, it comes in as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So we need to have a method for translating it to some kind of a useful meaning. So if the value is 1, when we query the Pi data, you will see it's going to be phase 2. If the value is coming in as 4, it's going to be phase 5, and so on. Now let's go back into Point Builder, and now let's click on the Classic tab. Here we will find there is something called location codes and there is something called instrument tag. Location codes are very unique for each and every Pi interface. The meaning for these location codes, for example, for Pi interface for OPCDA might be different from another Pi interface. So you need to refer to the user manual for that particular Pi interface to get the meaning of these location codes. So for example, pertaining to the Pi interface for OPCDA, let's see what these location codes mean. So as you can see, location 1 for Pi interface for OPCDA corresponds to the so-called interface ID, and location 4 corresponds to the scan class. And of course, the point sources which we configured on the Pi interface instance should be the same thing on the PyPoint as well. And the next one is the so-called instrument tag. This is the name of the tag on the data source. You can name the PyPoint whatever you want, but the PyPoint should contain the information as to the name of the tag on the data source. So whatever is the name of the tag on the data source, we need to have it exactly mentioned under the instrument tag, so that when the interface starts up, it picks up the tag. It basically gets the instrument tag from the PyPoint attribute, which gets applied to the data source, and the data source furnishes the value corresponding to that tag on the data source, which can be archived on the PyTag on the data archive. And lastly, let's go to the security tab. Here you have two different attributes. One is called point security and another one is data security. Point security controls read-write access to the PyTag attributes, whereas data security controls the read-write access to the tag snapshot and archive data.
Just to recap, in this video we understood what a PyPoint is, and that a PyPoint is defined by a set of attributes such as tag name, point source, description, so-called location codes, instrument tags, and so on. And we understood the meaning of some of these important PyPoint attributes.